Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for the element of Earth for December of 2025. Earth covers the zodiac signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you are a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or have Earth high up in your chart, then this message is for you. If you've never had your charts read, there is a natal chart linked in the description. It's not a sponsored link or anything. It's just a really good product just to get a general idea of what's going on with who you are. It gives you your 12 houses with all little signs and symbols, and then there's 10 to 20 pages of a description. And the reason I like this one is it brings up your elemental alignment as well, telling you your usually top two elements. So it's kind of interesting to see how the elements play into the zodiac as well. With that, we will get started with our reading. And I cast the I-ching hexagram before the video started. And Earth, you have number 4. Which is immaturity and uncultivated growth. Sounds a little interesting for our Earth family, but we'll see. Our text is immaturity, good fortune. I am not one to seek out uncultivated youth, but if such a youth seeks me out, I shall first read and explain the omens to him. Yet, should he ask me many times, just because of his importunity, I shall not explain anything more. The omen indicates a need for proper direction. So, this is really saying could very well be a leader in a situation going forward here, but it's also saying don't waste your time if people are not willing to learn. Kind of like wash your hands and walk away is what they're saying. Yet, should he ask many times just because of his importunity, meaning he's not paying attention, you're not going to explain it again. So basically, this is saying you're going to be the one leading something that's going forward here, but it's not a need for you to force it on somebody. If they're not willing to listen, that's their problem. You've explained it, and it's time to move forward. So let's take a peek and break down our lines here. So our foundational line, the one here at the bottom, is to enlighten the immature youth. It is advisable to apply discipline. Even fetters may be required, but to use them overmuch is harmful. I really don't think you're going to have to chain someone up, but discipline doesn't have to be the way a lot of people see it. Discipline is being accountable for being on time, being accountable for doing the right thing. This is how we do it. This is why. Once you have learned the basics, then we can start going on. But discipline is a lost art in today's world. It takes discipline to build a meditation practice. It takes discipline to build a home, to save the money, to do the things. So it's really about making sure that if you're the one leading the charge here, Earth, that you're also the one living the example of the discipline. You're getting up at the same time, you're eating healthy, you're doing, whatever it is you're working towards. You're going to be living the example as well as teaching. So in a lot of ways, Earth, this is kind of stepping into your authority, because you are the one who kind of sets things as a foundation. You're the stable ones of the of the elements. So this is really tapping into your strengths. Even fetters may be required. Like I said, I don't think you have to chain anyone down, but it does mean to hold them accountable, but not to do so in a harsh manner, and don't to basically micromanage. That's where it's using them overmuch is harmful. Micromanaging is not necessary. Directing is where we're at here. So our second place line, being gentle with the immature brings good fortune. Taking a wife brings good fortune. Sons will be capable of taking over the household affairs when the strong young and the weak old are in mutual harmony. So this is saying making sure that you have a partner if you're in that situation, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a coworker, or whatever. Making sure that you guys are on the same page is going to bring good fortune. And being gentle, you can hold structure and discipline without having to be harsh, and that's what they're implying here. And when the next generation that's coming up, whether this is business, whether it's your own children, they are working and being respectful with you, and you are being respectful with them, everything works in harmony, and you'll be amazed how much better things go. So you're really, like I said, you're stepping into Earth's very powerful strengths with this energy. And our third place line: do not choose a wife, spouse, who on seeing a wealthy person cannot contain herself. Nothing brings advantage. You want to make sure that the person that you're working with, coworker, spouse, etc., that they are not driven by greed or lust for power. If that's their goal, they will literally be the biggest pain in your life that you're going to have. So you want to make sure you guys are on the same plane. That way, when you're working with the next generation, whether it's your children, the new hires at work, whatever, you're actually going to be benefiting them. It's not just, oh, well, it's about me. It is, but it isn't. And if you have someone who's working with you who is completely on a lust for power or a lust for finances, and they don't really care about the next generation, or they don't care about you, that's not going to help. That's definitely that whole don't be unequally yoked thing. So it's saying you really want to be paying attention if you bring someone into your alignment here. Where we lose? Fourth place line is obstinacy and immaturity cause harm. If the people that you're working with, training, even the partner, spouse that you've got going on here, if they're being really obstinate, saying, I'm not doing it that way, this is where you're going to have the issues, because you're the one who's leading this charge. And Earth, what I'm seeing here is you're leading the charge because you've been there, you've done that, you know this situation, you know the next steps. This is not new territory for you. So when they're being, I'm not doing it that way because, okay, but you already went through this, and that's why we're doing it this way, because your view of it is not skewed. You're not seeing the bigger picture. And that's where this is going to be could be a little bit of a problem. So pay attention as you go through this month that if someone's giving you a lot of pushback, that's when you kind of wash your hands and be like, you know what? You go figure it out. If you think you can do it better, then you do that. But don't come crying to me when it's over. And that's really the discipline part of it. Like, I'm showing you this way so that you can dodge these other problems. And obstinacy and immaturity are saying, well, I'm going to find these problems and do it different. No, you're not. You're going to do the same problem. You're going to have the same response. So this is where you're stepping up saying, you know what? Fine. You want to do it that way. You're going to fail because that's what's going to happen. But you do you. Our fifth place line: youthful innocence brings good fortune. Youthful innocence is that curiosity. Well, what if we tried it this way? And if you've never done it that way, we'll try it that way. But it's saying these are the new ideas. The youthful innocence is not pushing back just to be a pushback, to be obstinate. It's about pushing back to do things the right way. It's not so much pushing back, but asking the right questions. Youthful innocence, when you really look back to the kid at 3, 4, 5 years old, well, why? Well, why? Well, why? Well, why? And any parent's just flinching right there. This is, they're learning. They want to understand the world. And in the situation where you're the leader here, you're the one teaching, you're the one who has to listen to, okay, that makes sense. Why do we do it this way? So you have to answer the questions, but it's because they're actually asking healthy, intelligent questions, so you want to respond to them in a positive way. And our capstone here, top line: in dealing firmly with youthful immaturity, there is nothing to be gained from doing what is wrong. Advantage lies in preventing the wrong. So what you're doing this month, Earth, and this may be a little bit off or odd for some people, but what you're really working on this month is you are trying to train the next generation. You're trying to train those who are coming after you, but you're trying to do it in a way that is going to prevent further issues down the road. You're trying to negate negative stuff. It could be the fact that you've been there, you've done that, you've made the mistakes, so you know what the consequences are, and you're trying to prevent the next group from having to deal with the same consequences. So in that aspect, you're actually very wise in the path ahead, and that's allowing you to see the situations, because you're looking at it from the broader perspective, and actually work around a lot of the chaos. So Earth, just from the I-ching, you're going to have a very interesting month, but you're being called to step into a leadership role, and that could be within the household, that could be within the workplace, but it's because you've been there, you've done that, you carry your wisdom like it's basically, you're carrying it like it's part of your clothing, like you don't even realize you have it because it's such an easy thing for you to wield. And that's the energy that's coming forward here, is that you are going to be able to teach and share that which you've already learned, because the next generation could use the encouragement. So with that, we're going to hop into our cards. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. As we go forward, I'm going to hold the cards up. If you see or intuit something different from the cards, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. It's always interesting to hear other people's intuition when they bring stuff up. So each week we look at a guide or guardian, a message from source, which is usually positive reassurance, affirmations, and things like that. And then we look at a message from the tarot. And the tarot is just kind of clarifying what else is coming up. There's about 5 weeks in December, so we will get started with week number 1. You have Ascended Master Yogananda and Rhodonite, and the card's title is Empowered Service. I step into my we'll read this for you. You step into your rightful spiritual place with dignity, reverence, and grace. Your higher purpose is empowered by the divine. Your connection to the light is strong, unwavering, and enduring, so much so that your trust in its power and presence is unconditional. You accept the invitation from the universe to step up to a new level of expression and fulfillment of your higher purpose. You open your heart to the divine harvest of blessings pouring into your soul. You recognize the readiness within your own soul to move. We're talking about working with training, showing people the next generation, and what this is starting you off with is getting tapped into your heart chakra. Rhodonite and rose quartz kind of work in very similar ways. Rhodonite's a little bit more grounded, so more earth-based energy, so you're holding this energy in a more focused position, we'll call it. And really, you're being called this month to share what you know, and it's not just going to be in a physical situation. Your soul is actually saying, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to share what I know. Whether your conscious mind is or not is kind of outside of the picture at this point, because your soul is the one saying, you know what? I've gotten this far. We've done these things. If you're at a job, you could be being unintentionally to you, but your higher ups are saying it. They're giving you the new person to show them the ropes because they know you have the ability to do it. In a relationship, you could be the one who does the teaching and the guiding a little bit more so with the kids than the spouse, because the spouse sees you as the one who has the way to interact with them in a much clearer state. And usually there's one parent that's a little bit stronger in this than the other, so it's has nothing to do with gender. But that's where we're coming up here, is tapping into that heart, being able to communicate with compassion. Compassion does not mean that you're a doormat. It means you do things through love, and care also means that's how you structure your discipline. So it's really that you're ready for this, Earth. You're ready for this next stage of growth where you get to share your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences with the people around you who are ready to learn. Your message from Source is furred and feathered friends. If anyone's out there is a trainer, especially of animals, this could also work for you in that respect. So go with that. We have, can't see it quite there. Animals are intuitive, sacred beings and the wisdom keepers of many traditions. They are some of our most loving companions and have much to teach us, yet the treatment of some species is appalling. As our empathy expands, we see other beings and the quality of their lives as interconnected and to our own. We may be inspired to align our actions with compassion to minimize harm that we do to others in this life. This card also signifies energetic bonds. You may have a greater awareness of the wisdom of animals and that you encounter and their meaning for you. So this could indicate that you have spirit guides, animal guides coming in, Or it could be that, like I said, if you're a pet trainer or a horse trainer, something along those lines, this could be just a call to why you're doing it, remembering what was your purpose. It's not just to, I'm controlling the animal. Most trainers have a very unique bond with their pets and their horses and their whatever else they're training, because as you're training the animal, you're training yourself, and that steps into that discipline side of things where you have to gain control of your emotions to be able to work with animals. Same with kids, really. If your emotions are out of control, the kids are going to be out of control. So this applies to so many things in life, and when we understand, as we teach, so we learn, it changes the dynamic in how we interact with people. It's not just a one-way street. I am pontificating and telling you how to live life. You're also paying attention to how they respond, because they might not get it if you say it a certain way, but if you adjust it, toss in a pop culture reference or something, all of a sudden it clicks and the light dawns. So that's what they're saying, is it's not a matter of only doing it one way. There's a bond that forms when we are in that situation where we're both learning, but also both teaching. It just may be on an energetic level. So be aware of that, and that's why you want to get into your heart with the Rhodonite and Yogananda energy, because that's going to help you see how everything flows more cleanly in this first week. Your message from the tarot is actually your energy. It's a completed energy, the 10 of Pentacles. This is saying that you have actually mastered so much in life that it's now, you're at the end of a cycle. You're at the end of a journey. So if it's, like I said, if it's pregnancy into parenthood, if it's stepping into that new role as a teacher, instructor, a manager, whatever it may be, the 10 of Pentacles, which is earth energy, is really saying this week is where you start to realize that you've come to the end of a cycle, and now it's time for you, earth, to start to share what you've learned. So doing so from a point of compassion, understanding that your heart connection with those around you is how a lot of energy gets exchanged, how a lot of knowledge gets exchanged, is going to speed things up significantly, is what I'm hearing. So let's take a peek at our second week for our guide and guardian. And when I say guide or guardian, it could be a guide through the week, which is usually what your ascended master, angel, things like that are. But your guardian could be the stone as well. So you've got a combination of how to work with these, and it's all dependent on how it shows up for you. So with this one, I see this is a little different than they have it. They have Archangel Melchizedek. In my research, Melchizedek is actually more of a saint or an ascended master, so apply that how you will. And the stone is selenite with divine perfection. You bow to the higher will, unfolding in all things at all times. You feel peace growing within your heart and mind. You move closer to the divine heart of the universe, where there is only love and grace, encouragement and respect. There are so many healing blessings for you now. You let go of what has been with serenity. You unconditionally trust the goodness of what is unfolding. The second week is really bringing forward that heart chakra. So Earth, what I would suggest, if you've never worked with your heart chakra or it's been a while, this is a good time to tap back into that and really open that energy up, because the universe is bringing a message forward here. Selenite in its basic form is an uncorruptible crystal, energetically wise. It is literally just pure light. It is pure everything. So it's one of those stones that you can literally use for any purpose, and it's always going to uplift the energy field around it. So with that, you're also working with Melchizedek, which in the biblical term, he was a king who never died, I believe. I'll have to look it up again. But he was also seen in a lot of other texts as a master alchemist. So he could change anything into something better. And when you have selenite coming forward, talking about tapping into your heart and your divine perfection, that's what they're saying. Earth, you are here to transform things. Consciously or subconsciously, your energy in December is about uplifting. In the second week, you're going to start to see how that plays out. So that's kind of cool. Could be a little intimidating, so don't feel bad if you feel a little bit nervous, like, why is the boss giving me this person again? Like, why am I the one who keeps getting handled all the new people? Because you do a good job. and they know it. You just may not have realized what they're doing yet. But that's wise. Your gifts and skills and abilities are being put to use. You just may not be consciously aware of it just yet. But remember to stay in your heart, because that allows you to be open to the discussion and the flow of the energies. Okay. You have divine perfection with selenite, which is a pure stone, a pure light actually. Your message from spirit is shine your light. So you're still tapping into this high frequency energy. We have, can't see it. No one can do you as you can. What does that really say that? Yes, it can. Yet we can sometimes feel that we need to be a certain way, a way not aligned with our authentic self. Don't do that. It takes discipline to do what we truly love, especially if we are natural givers. It is easy to get caught up in what other people are doing. Tending to our own needs harms no one, and we will have a lot more to give. So, before we finish this, take care of yourself in the second week through the month of December. You can't pour from an empty cup. Do your self-care. The second week is that reminding energy for that. It takes time to collect our light and shift the vibration here on Earth, starting with our own inner sense of well-being. Melchizedek, alchemy, here we go. You are a sovereign being. Regain compassionate empowerment and remember what lights up your world. So this is tapping into that same energy of Melchizedek, selenite, the heart chakra. You're anchoring in divine energy this second week, and it's allowing you to step into this much more brilliant version of yourself. And that's why they're saying don't get distracted by other people's opinions, nonsense, chaos, all of that headache that goes along with it. That's not your problem. You're here to stay authentic to yourself, and that takes discipline too. But you're here to expand your awareness, but in the process of doing that, you're teaching. And by teaching others, you expand your awareness. So it's a really powerful little cycle that Earth's going to have going on here. Think of just knock something on the floor. The wheel in traditional tarot, because that's the energy we're dealing with, is everything's a cycle, everything is give and take. And right now, you're reaching up so that you can share more. And as you share more, it amplifies the whole. So it's really kind of powerful. Not kind of, it's powerful. Your message from the tarot is the Queen of Swords. So you might have a little challenge in the second week, Earth, because swords are air, which is your opposite sign. And with the Queen of Swords, it's a divine aspect it's a divine feminine aspect. So there could be a little bit of pushback. This is also could be tapping into that, taking a wife of equal or a spouse of equal stature, like the I-ching talks about. But if the spouse happens to be a power-hungry person, it could be a problem. And with the Queen, that's someone who's in power. That's someone who's in control. In its positive form, the Queen is going to be the most supportive thing you're going to have in your life. But in its negative form, it's the most destructive. So this is that reminder to make sure that if you are in a partnership, coworker, or spouse, you're in alignment and you're on the same page. That way you can be a united front or teaching force when things pop up and there's a little less discipline than is that a little discipline needs to be applied. That way you can be there to support each other and balance each other out. So your second week is really about getting into your heart, because you're bringing in a new version of teaching. It's not you're not going to be doing it the same way other people have done it, which is what sets you apart and makes you more unique in this situation. So your third week's guide or guardian is the Ascended Master Lady Nada and Rhodochrosite. Are you serious? Rhodonite. Okay. We got another pink heart energy card here. So Earth, I'm saying this month, heart chakra, definitely something to focus on. So we have, the card's title is Sensitivity. Your devoted heart is a willing, conscious, clear channel for spiritual grace. Your growing sensitivity empowers you to experience the loving presence of the divine and to become a living light with tremendous compassion. Selenite, the second week's message from Source, shining your light. It's all coming up in the third week as well. So where are we at? Your sensitivity increases in perfect harmony with your ability to process subtle energies and to generate a protective field of spiritual light around you. You claim the space that you need to process your experiences and thrive, trusting what you sense and respond to with wisdom. It is safe and wild and startling and beautiful to be a sensitive soul with a higher awareness. Earth, you're going to be feeling very rewarded as you go through this month. And it may not be financial, it may not even be accolades from someone else. You're going to feel rewarded because what you're doing, you're seeing the light dawning in the children you're working with, the new trainees at work, the students if you're teaching. Whatever it is, you're going to be rewarded, especially this third week's when this awareness may kick in for you. You're going to be rewarded by the energy that's being exchanged. You're offering, they're giving back, and it's flowing. And by doing so, you're elevating everyone around you, not just the students, by the way, not the ones you're teaching. By this action of what you're doing, you're actually radiating out into your surrounding community. So, Earth, you have a very beautiful path ahead. And it all comes back to what the I-ching said. There could be some immaturity. There may be some uncultivated growth that needs to happen. You're the farmer. You're cultivating. You're the one directing. You're trimming the vines to make them go up the trellis the right way. You're the one who's doing this work, and you're doing it from a place of love and compassion. So, Earth, you have a very beautiful mission, I guess you would call it, this month. Your message from Source is full spectrum. Let's see if I can read this one up here or not. My lighting's really weird. Step out of the black and white mentality of good and bad. Honor the full spectrum of life and see through fresh eyes. When we judge something, we create a story around it, and often these stories are very limiting. Over a lifetime, we subconsciously gather so many of these stories, create a space of no story for miraculous healing and crystallizing these new paths. This space empowers you to know our truth and be all that we are. Embrace creation in all of her colors, including the raw, the muddy, the earthbound shadow parts of a situation, to determine whether your stories are limiting your perspective. Let the compost of the challenge you have overcome and feed the new shoots and blossoms. Sorry, my lighting is weird right now. But what we're hearing with this is your time to really look at things from the bigger perspective, especially this third week. Examine what's happening. You're feeling this expansion within your own soul, within your heart, especially when you work with the heart chakra this third week. You're going to notice that things are just you're feeling bigger in the best way possible. Your energy is bigger and broader. Things just feel brighter. Food tastes better. The people you're around are just more fun to be around. So this third week, you're definitely stepping into this higher state. And when we look at it from the perspective of how can we learn, how can we grow, and how can we expand, bringing in the higher vibes, working with the light, and really anchoring that love into the planet, you see things from the full spectrum. Pure white light carries all the other colors. And that's what this card is really saying, is it's the full spectrum of light. It's the full spectrum of existence. This is where you're coming in, Earth. You're anchoring a small piece of this into the world. That small piece to you might be this big, but to those around you, it's a searchlight. They're drawn to this energy, and it's uplifting them as well. So our message from the tarot for the third week is the 9 of Chalices. This is where we have to be careful not to let the ego get in the way. The 9 of Chalices has a lot of positive. It can be a wish fulfillment, but it also can be a distraction. Notice she's looking at a statue like, ooh, this is my favorite thing in the world. She's dropped her coat. She's distracted it from everything else. So you definitely have this energy of don't get distracted. The wishes are being fulfilled, but that does not mean that you're done. That does not mean that you can just walk away from where you're at. And so the second week, yes, things are growing. Things are expanding. You're noticing your own existence is becoming more buoyant, more light-based. Don't get distracted by just the feelings. You're still here to have a mission, so Don't forget that, that discipline word that no one likes. I dropped the cards. So now let's look at our 4th week. This December readings are a little bit long across the board, so I do apologize for that, but 5 weeks is a little heavy. We have for your 4th week, Angel Raziel, that's interesting, and Pierre de Sight is your stone, and that's this guy right here in the middle. Your card's title is Storm Wisdom. You are one with a storm of creative divine chaos that precedes the birth of new realities. You are cleansed and cleared of what has been, and you open a wild heart to what must be for the soul to thrive and love and grow. With faith in spirit and your soul, you willingly enter into the process of transformation. Alchemy, Melchizedek, the heart chakra, like there's a theme here, Earth. Goodness and healing that shall come from what is happening in your life. You trust in the divine beauty destined for you. This is such a powerful, transformative energy. You're doing what you feel is just the next steps. You're teaching, you're expanding, you're passing on information, but you're changing lives, whether you realize it or not. And it could be something simple. It could be a comment. There's a lot of different times in life where you'll say a comment, and for some reason, you didn't think anything of it. You probably forgot what the comment was. But that stuck with somebody. And if you don't believe me, think back to when you were in high school, when you were in junior high. There was a teacher that said something to you that inspired you. You'll have other negative ones. We're not focusing on that. You want to think about the phrase, the comment, or their belief in you that was so inspirational that you were able to overcome a challenge because of it. And to this day, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years down the road, you still remember that. That's what is being offered to you. That's what your subconscious mind, your soul is really bringing forward. You're in the energy where you are going to have that response to other people. Others are going to remember you long after they're out of that situation. And to you, it was just, this is what I'm doing. It's not that big of a deal, but to them, it changes their lives. So you have a very powerful gift this month, Earth. Your energy or your message from Spirit is the throat chakra, expressing your truth. This chakra is the origin of expression. It is the source of the life spark that inspires your aliveness and strokes the creative fire in others. This is the outer sharing of your inner being, the glowing song of your soul. On the winds of your flight to understanding more of who and what you are. Connect to the crux of your potential and take it further than you ever thought possible. As spirit fuses into the tangible, it actualizes as a platform for greater experiences, and new facets are sculpted, seeded, and shared into the fractal light in the form of your own unique language and being. When we talk about the throat chakra, most people are like, oh, it's communication. It is. Communication's not just words. It's how you show up in the world. It's how you light up when you talk about your passions. It's how you express yourself through emotions. Everything that you do as a form of expression can actually be tied to the throat. This month is a focus on the heart for the compassion side of things, and the discipline and all the rest of it, that's all tied to the heart. But it's because of how you express yourself that people are going to be responding in such a positive manner to you, Earth. So you are really being called to show up. Be authentic. It doesn't matter what other people think. I mean, in reality, it doesn't. As long as you're not harming others. And in this month, you're really showing others how to be a better people, which might sound a little intimidating, but it's what's going on. You're really showing up in the best way possible this month. And the throat chakra is saying, you're building up from the heart, which is the balance of the chakras, because there's 3 below and 3 above. And from the heart, it goes to the throat. So that heart expansion is actually coming out to share with others. So you really are in a powerful state this month. Conscious or not, that's where you're at. Your message from the tarot is Major Arcana, so this is big life energy. And this actually could apply for the whole month, really. Is the Magician. Number 1. You have all of the tools you will ever need in this moment, Earth. This month is about knowing that you have experienced, you have gained knowledge. Even if it's only basic, you have gained this. You have earth, you have air, you have fire, and you have water. You have all four elements, knowledge. You have knowledge of all four elements and basics of them all. You are the one who creates your life. Melchizedek, the heart chakra, selenite. You are here to uplift, change, and transform the month of December. Whether you are consciously doing it, or it's just because if this is what you're doing and the universe is saying, well done, here we go, because you're in that state. So I'm getting chills right now, Earth. You have got a very powerful month ahead of you, and I really am happy for you because this is looking very, very positive. The whole overall outcome here is you're setting things up to grow, and you may never even see the harvest, but you're setting a very strong foundation, which is Earth's strength anyway. So you're doing great here. And one more alchemist comment, of course. We have Ascended Master Saint Germain for the final week, and Amethyst, spiritual transformation, growth, and expansion, and a Master Alchemist as well. Spiritual connection. Your spiritual connection to the universe is empowered and enhanced by acts of prayer and your devotion to greater love. The love of your higher guidance has for you helps you to step into your power and live your soul's calling. You are divinely supported, encouraged, seen, heard, responded to with the greatest generosity of all times. You unconditionally rely upon the divine grace to make your way safely, creatively, kindly, and very effectively along your life path. Spirit is always with you. Amethyst is a very powerful stone, awakening your third eye, but it also is, like selenite in this respect, a very high frequency stone. It very much taps into the spiritual world. Selenite is pure light, amethyst is pure soul. We'll call him that. And when you have Ascended Master Saint Germain was also a master alchemist, much like Ascended Master, they call it Archangel, but Ascended Master Melchizedek was a master alchemist in a lot of the lore. This month is transformative. This month is doing things so subconsciously. In a teaching aspect, something is being exchanged. You may not even realize it's happening, Earth, but it is, and it's really actually benefiting the future in ways, like I said, you may not even see them, but it is making a difference. So keep going with fighting the good fight. You're doing great here. Your message from Source is the Crown Chakra with the unlimited self. The crown chakra is your link to the multidimensionality of your being, the seat of your soul. It gracefully connects you to the heavens. The infinite symbol of limitlessness appears within the unfolding petals and points you to the most potent potential. There's a lot of P's here. Here you can delight in the divine strands of light that dance with us when we are aligned with spirit, purpose, and truth. Be present and flow without rigid outcomes. Find more grace in your own life. Find your own way to meditate. Explore the state of flow and be receptive to the intuitive messages you may receive. Meditation doesn't have to be sitting in the full lotus positions with your fingers in that pose and eyes closed chanting a phrase. You can meditate while gardening. I've done it. It's actually kind of fun. And you get to meet the divas when you do that. Most of the time. You can meditate while walking. There's a concept called chi running and chi walking, which is a form of meditation, but it's active. Yoga is a meditative experience if you choose to take it there. Same thing with Tai Chi. A lot of your martial arts basic stuff is meditative in practice. So find what works for you. If sitting in a quiet room with, some kind of quiet music playing in the background doesn't do it for you, find what does and work within that mindset. But again, you're being told to make sure you're taking care of yourself this month. December is always a little bit hectic. Take some time for self-care, whether it's just closing the door, putting on some music, taking a bath, have some candles going, reading a book, whatever it is. Let yourself have that this month because your heart chakra is kind of directing traffic because it's uplifting and pulling you into the higher states. Your throat in the fourth week, the third eye with the amethyst starting this week, and then the crown is the message from Source. So you have a strong foundation and it's driving you into this higher state. Earth, you have an amazing month going on here, so let me know in the comments how it turns out for you, because this is pretty impressive. Your message from the tarot is the Eight of Wands. Don't let an opportunity slip away for this month. If you find a reason to be happy, do so. Wands are passion. Wands are fire. This is the drive, the creation of something new. With the Eight of Wands, you also get the number 8, which is a symbol for eternity. What you do now will continue on. This month is setting the next stage. When you look at her face, she looks a little confused, like she's not sure what she's doing. You may not know how this is going to turn out, Earth, and that's fine. Universe does, and it's going to play out in a very powerful, beautiful, like I said, the energy I'm feeling right now is really uplifting. You have a divine purpose this month, Earth, and you're bringing in and anchoring in the light of creation and the light of love. Really focus on your heart chakra as you go through this month, and let me know in the comments how that feels, turns out, and experiences for you. With that, I will let you go. Have a great month of December, and I will see you in the next video.